Hello, everybody. How are you guys? I hope everyone's doing well this evening. I know this is a bit abnormal for me to sign on at this time. However, because of some schedule changes, I will be doing my lives in the evenings. I hope this works for a lot of you. But if it does not, then I hope that you can watch the video at a time that's most convenient for you. Um, just because I think it's really important that I do record these calls. But today's topic will be about the IELTS speaking section and some sports related topics you may see or you may be asked on your exam. There are so many different sports related to questions you may be asked, but I tried to choose ones to discuss in today's live just because I think it's important that you get a glimpse of all the different sections, part one, two, and three. Um, just so you get an idea of what type of answers you should be giving and what types of vocabulary you should be using, and maybe if you are not interested in sports, what type of answers you should be giving if you're not related, if you're not interested in sports. I mean, you're not just going to tell the examiner, uh, I don't know how to answer this question. I don't like sports. That's not a good answer. It's fine that you don't like sports, but there should be the proper way to respond to the examiner. And that's what I'm going to teach you today. I want to teach you how you can respond to the examiner using certain words or using certain sentence structures, so that way it doesn't seem like you're not sure how to respond to the question. So, the first question I wanted to discuss is related to part one. So these questions are all related to IELTS speaking part one. And some questions you may get are something like, what is your favorite sport? So if the examiner happens to ask you, what is your favorite sport? Let's say your favorite sport is basketball. So maybe you can say something like, to truthfully, I don't really play sports, but my favorite sport to watch is basketball because I love the fast pace score goaling within basketball. For example, you could give an answer like that, so that way there may be you're not interested in playing sports, like I said, but you like to watch it. So this is like a certain way you could respond to the examiner. Or maybe something like, what sport do you like to watch on TV? So you just answered, what's your favorite sport? You responded with, you don't play basketball, but you like to watch it. So this answer could be a bit redundant, but try to change it up if you do get the sequence of the questions. So you could still respond with something like, um, my as mentioned, as I just mentioned, I love to watch basketball on TV. So I would say watching basketball is definitely something I really enjoy. And that's it. So if you are able to respond with, I would say, in IELTS speaking part one, try to aim for 2 to 3 sentences maximum and try not to pass 3 sentences. If you are able to respond with 3 sentences maximum, this is a great ballpark, because and if your answer is too long in IELTS speaking part one, the examiner will stop you, and that's not a good sign. So you need to make sure you keep your answer short and you are able to respond in such a way that gets all your points across within 3 sentences. What is the most popular sport in your country? So, because I live in North America, the way I would respond to this answer is, um, I would say, since I live in Canada, the most popular sport in my country is hockey. Canadians are diehard hockey fans. And when you say a word such as die hard is pretty much very loyal. They are very loyal hockey fans. So let's see for IELTS speaking part two what type of questions you may see about athletes or sports. So the thing is with IELTS speaking part 2, even though you will be asked a question with 4 to 5 sub questions, the best way to respond to this is to really take advantage of that 1 minute preparation time the examiner gives you to outline your answers, to write what type of response you are going to say to the examiner. And honestly, I highly recommend you don't need to write in full sentences. You don't have time for that in 1 minute. And you're not trying to memorize the answer. Just try to write 3 to 4 main keywords, I should say, for each question the examiner is. For each answer the examiner is trying to get for you for each question that he's asking you. So, for example, this question here says, describe an athlete you admire. You should say who it is, what sport he played, why you admire him, and then how you discovered him or her. So, how exactly would you answer this question? So, the best way, like I said, is the first thing I would think about. I would think about an answer, and then I would try to quickly write 2 to 3 key points down for each given uh, sub question. So, who it is, three sub points on that. What sports he plays, 3 sub points on that. Why you admire him, 3 sub points on that. And how you discovered him or her. So I am going to copy and paste an example of what type of sub points I'm talking about that I wrote in my notes. I'm just going to copy and paste it in the chat. So then that way you are able to view this on your own time. Just 1 second. Um, what sports he plays. Oh, I'm going past the limits of. So let's say what sports he plays is going to be this one. That's one of the questions, why you admire him. And mind you, I'll have all of these in the description box once the live has ended. But for now, just so you could follow along with me, these are the subpoints I have wrote for each particular question that I have to respond to. So, this is the first step you really need to do. And even while you are preparing to speak for a full 2 minutes within that 1 minute, you really need to come up with an intro of how you are going to introduce your topic, and as well as a concluding sentence so the examiner knows or acknowledges that you are coming to an end of your discussion. So you don't want to just tell the examiner, I'm done talking, or I finished talking. You want to make sure you can speak in such a way that all your sentences flow properly. So for this question, I don't have an answer that I've wrote down. So I will be saying this answer off the top of my head, based on these brainstorming ideas that I have come up with. So describe an athlete you admire. You should say who it is. So before I start answering these questions, one other thing I wanted to mention is that when you are responding to the IELTS speaking part 2 questions, you really, really need to make sure that you are able to come up with 4 points for each particular question that in IELTS speaking part 2. The reason why is you need to speak for a full 2 minutes. So you should have more ideas than less. So that way, this will get you to the 2 minute mark. If you only write 1 to 2 words for each question, trust me, you won't be able to speak for a full 2 minutes. So you need to be able to speak for a full 2 minutes and write 3 to 4 points for each given question, which means you need to you need to speak for 3 to 4 sentences for each particular point. So let's see how this goes. Describe an athlete you admire. You should say who it is. So one person I really appreciate as an athlete is the famous World Cup player Cristiano Ronaldo. I really, really appreciate his talent in playing soccer because he has scored many goals in the past. So that was 4 sentences. So what sport he plays? Cristiano Ronaldo is known to play soccer in Portugal. He is an amazing player, and his skills are like no other. He scores amazing goals, and he's a very inspirational person. That was 4 sentences. Why you admire him? To be honest, one reason why I really appreciate him and find him very inspirational is because not only is he known for his soccer skills, but he's known for his humanitarian work in the past. And I think that is more admirable than just someone who has good soccer skills. However, other than that, he is very talented within his career as a soccer athlete, and he is known to score the most goals within a season. So that was 4 sentences. How you discovered him or her? The day I actually discovered him is when my husband showed me a few of his videos and told me to really pay attention to the way this athlete steals the ball and is able to have so much control over a soccer ball and getting in that goal. So if you put all these sentences together, you are likely to speak for a full 2 minutes. And maybe even if you're right under 2 minutes, at least you know that you are close to 2 minutes and you can add 1 or 2 sentences within within your last sentence and the conclusion. So make sure you are able to remember this when you are responding to the examiner in the IELTS speaking part 1, 2, and 3 section. You need to be able to speak in full sentences, and you need to be able to speak for a full 2 minutes in part 2, especially because you will get a low band if you don't know how to speak for a full 2 minutes. So let's talk about some questions related to part 3. So you will see some questions related to sports in all 3 parts. So just be aware of that. How can sports bring people from different countries closer together? So in part 3, try to keep your answers maximum 3 sentences. And the best way to answer is to respond to the question directly. Don't try to, what I'm trying to say is stay on topic and do not try to go off topic by responding otherwise to the question. How can sports bring people from different countries closer together? So I actually really admire this question because I think sports could really bring people from all over the world together, different nationalities, different religions. I think the recent World Cup in Qatar really showed showed everybody in the world that we can all get along. So this is a type of answer you can give in IELTS speaking part 3. Do you think famous sports people are good role models for children? So let's say you do get this question. Do you think sports people, meaning athletes, are good role models for children? Yes, to be honest, I think it's very important that when a person does become an athlete, they are aware that there are many young children watching their every move and look up to them. So I think sports peoples are definitely someone who is inspirational to the younger generation. How can parents encourage their kids to do more sports? One way parents could encourage st- one way and parents can encourage their kids to do sports is by registering their children for extracurricular activities such as joining them in soccer teams or basketball teams, so that way they are encouraged and they are motivated to play sports. So, as you guys see here, I covered lots of different IELTS speaking sports related questions you may be given in part 1, part 2, and part 3. So if you like this video, then please make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because my goal for 2023, my New Year's resolution, is to try to get on a live every day to help you guys. If there are any topics you want me to prepare for in the IELTS exam for my next live, make sure you let me know down in the comment section down below, so that way I add these topics to my list and I'm able to help you. Thank you guys for now, and I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Bye bye.